through time and I fly. We roll up on a ship that flies and flies and flies and flies.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Trip Through Time. As time goes by, these memories never die. Today, we got quite the fucking conversational journey set. Can't be more excited to have this guy on. My name is Benny Badu, and sitting here is my homie Cody that I just met. Cody, just introduce yourself and, break down at least a quick rundown where you live, where you're from, and your whole Pretty Lights journey, where it started and where you got.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having me on, Ben. I'm actually really excited to do this podcast with you.
Oh, yeah.
My name's Cody. I'm originally from Evergreen, Colorado, Denver area after that, and then I currently live in Austin, Texas.
Where's Evergreen?
It's 45 minutes west of Denver, like a little bit in the mountains, like in the foothills.
Gotcha.
So
near Red Rocks.
Idaho Springs. Yeah, it's above Red Rocks, like 15, 20 minutes past.
Dope. So yeah, how and I mean, obviously you lived in Colorado, but like how and your whole like getting into Pretty Lights and how to start and what was, I got your show list here, but talk about that because that was
Yeah, so that's
you're an OG.
Like
you're an OG,
story.
dude.
Thanks. It's kind of a funny story. So the first time I actually heard Pretty Lights was in my friend's car, and I actually did not like it. I was a huge house head.
Oh,
It was about 2008, 2009, finishing up high school. I was like just getting into raves and all that jazz,
Yeah.
so really into house and trance. And first I was like, what is this? Like, it's way too slow. And then
what were you listening
kinda
to?
like-
was it like was it taking up your
I was
present time
listening to-
shit or like filling up the city sky?
yeah, no, it was like it was more important than Michael Jordan.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like some of the best tracks back then. And
Yeah.
at the time of like first time hearing it, I was just, what is this? And it's actually really funny because I'm taking that friend to Vegas for his first PL show.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
just kind of like a whole
Yeah, full
like
circle.
loop back and back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
So pretty stoked. And then after listening to him a little bit more, I kind of really enjoyed it. And then took my first show to the Ogden in Denver. And after that, I was like, all right, let's go to Red Rocks. And that first headlining Red Rocks show in 2010 that was pretty much it for me. Just sold me on everything after that.
Yeah. So you've been to 32 shows, and your first one was in 2010, and then it's crazy. All you people living in Colorado just like it's crazy. But like you went to until your 17th show, you saw 16 straight Colorado shows.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was not
that's
in the realm
insane.
of traveling back then.
Dude, that's what I
And
mean.
it was
Dude,
just-
that's cool though. But like, yeah, like that. Like for me, I mean, and I grew up in the Chicago area, but like, Pretty Lights definitely hit Chicago a lot. I mean, I feel like Colorado, especially like you were saying, like when I first started coming out there, that was in the start of like weed getting legalized and shit like that. And the lore of fucking Colorado has so much like the music, Red Rocks, the legals, like all that. It was just like, I honestly thought I would live there one day and shit. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. That was just like the whole scene was popping off there. It was just like, it seemed like such a fucking, sick fucking dope place to be. But yeah, dude, that's crazy. So like, let's just look at this real quick. You do Ogden 2010, Red Rocks, and then 10, 11, and then, Broomfield, First Bank Center, two, back-to-backs or for New Year's, and then Red Rocks 12, back-to-back, and then Red Rocks 13. So that's the start of, we're going to count the ones we were at together before we knew each other. I was at Red Rocks 13, right. So 2. I know you go to Decadence, and I know the next day we got legalized, right? Right after that?
No, so actually we didn't
I
So,
thought
well,
my buddy
I
went
think
to Deccan. My buddy went.
they passed the bill, they passed the law that next day, but
Uh,
like stores didn't open until 14.
oh,
They
okay.
like and didn't get everything like situated till a couple years later.
I
But yeah,
thought my buddy went there for. I thought he went to Decadence, or I thought he went to New Year's there, and he said the next day Lions were crazy, but I could be wrong. So whatever. So we go 13, then we go 14. So that's 4 shows. Telluride 15, which I'm gonna run back to. So that's 6. Then Euphoria, Austin, Texas. That's 7. And then episodic festivals. So those are my last 2 shows that I saw. So I saw 36 shows in 5 years, and my last 2 were the Austin New Braunfels, fucking episodic festival run thing, and then we were both at Tahoe. So I'm gonna just say
yeah, let's do this.
I'm gonna say how we met. Okay, and in honor of you, I got the Telluride 15 poster up there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, one of my favorite shows. Like, you had
definitely.
the Analog Future Band plus Krasno and Carnes. I mean, dude, and like Telluride was. So I did like for 4 straight summers. I traveled to Colorado to see Pretty Lights every August for 4 years, and then if you want to say 5 years, I always traveled for PL. But my 5th year was at the Gorge. But 2 years Red Rocks and 2 first Analog Future Band show, and then the Symphony show, and then you got
Yeah,
and then you got Telluride. I camped that year, drove from fucking Chicago. Then the following year was the transition to the PL Live, and I flew out that time and then got Airbnb. But either way, Telluride's fucking such a Colorado's awesome. I mean, Colorado.
yeah. See, it's funny. I missed the opposite shows those years. So the 15, I didn't go to Red Rocks because I was
Uh,
going to Telluride, and then I didn't go to Telluride
uh,
16 and went to Red
I
Rocks.
noticed that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad it worked out the way it did because I'm glad I did 2 years Red Rocks and those 2 years there because, like, with those having had those experiences and like having Telluride there, I was like, well, I just did Red Rocks, so let's do Telluride, and it's crazy though. I fucking forgot how amazing Red Rocks is, dude. I just went for my first time, and it was literally I hadn't been there 10 years, dude. I was fucking 22 and I was 23 in 2014. And then I go back when I'm 33 and I'm just like, I mean, literally trip through time, dude. It's fucking,
Yeah, man, I haven't been since 18. I haven't been back to Red Rocks since
yeah.
18.
I
So
mean, it was good to go back, dude. I only went one night. It was my buddy's bachelor party. He's like, um, tickets got crazy and like he didn't want us all to spend it. I'm like, we'll buy your ticket. Like, who gives a fuck? We only went this night too. Either way, great time, awesome. But like, it was nice to be back. You forget how that venue's got so much history to it. But okay, we're in Tahoe, right? And we go to Base Camp
of
Pizza,
course.
and you're over here on the far end of the bar. And I think I was talking
That was
about
my
people.
second day there.
Yeah,
I went both days. I went Friday and Saturday
yeah.
to eat that
Oh, to
pizza.
base camp? Yeah. I mean, I've
Yeah.
heard. So my wife, we know a couple people down here as she works at. We got multiple jobs. California, you got a hustle, but we got bar gigs and shit. But she works with these girls that grew up in Tahoe, and so they were giving us all these recommendations and shit. They said base camp for sure. So we go over there and fucking. I think we were talking to a bunch of people. I mean, I'm very social. I like and I think I was talking to
Yep.
someone else next to me, and then you're on this like down the bar, and then like we were talking about Telluride, and then we just start chiming in on that. So shout out to Cody right there.
Yep.
And on top of that too, we got ACL, which we're gonna get to as well. But so I met a lot of people. Obviously, you get a lot of numbers, and I'm very just like like whatever. But like we leave, and then you hit me up and like, hey, I'm at the which you went by yourself, right,
Yeah,
dude? Respect,
since the return,
yo.
I've gone to most of the shows by myself. I may know people there sometimes, but I have traveled by myself to all the shows.
Yo, respect, dude. I mean, honestly, I've wanted to do that forever. Like, I would love to. I don't know. My second time seeing Pretty Lights, dude. I went to Counterpoint Music Festival in Georgia in 2012. So we had this kid that like camped next to us, and his friends like bailed or something, and like we hung out with him the whole time, and like I was just like I don't know. I kind of want to do something like that. You're on your own agenda, and you meet people, and you can do whatever the fuck you want, and like for instance, like something like this happens and shit. Like mad respect to that. So like you hit me up and you were kind of in the area we were hanging out at before, which, by the way, I don't know. Are you usually a front stage guy? Like, do you hang out up front like a lot like that?
So for PL shows, I do actually.
Yeah.
I like to be close up front. I know the visuals in the back are great. But for some reason for PL shows, I like being up front. I like seeing the band do their thing. I like seeing it all. Um, I used to not be like that. It wasn't really until Euphoria that I really started getting up front, and I was like, yeah, pretty much not again. Not again will I stay in the back. Like
Well, dude,
let's get up front in the nitty gritty.
that's another thing. Being on your own, you can just do your thing. Like, but for me, I honestly like when I talked about on the Tahoe pod we did. I like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I've never been up that close because it was crazy. Like the show's gonna start, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of room, and like, dude, the energy up there was crazy. I mean, it's like different, dude, and like I don't know,
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I loved it. Like we'll go on it later, but I met up with you
Yeah,
solo.
that's for we'll probably touch on it a little bit. That's why I was on the rail for ACL was because I needed I needed the PL vibes. I needed the close front PL vibes, so that's why I went as close as I could.
I'll get to that again, but yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But okay, so but the only actually now that I think about it, but this is different. Like so, um I went to New Year's Eve shows in San Francisco, and it was like I think it called like Sea of Dreams or something like that. It was like 2014 to 15, I believe. And I went with this girl I was dating at the time. It was just the two of us, and we got VIP. But like VIP is weird, dude. Like and I felt like you're kind of like because you paid for it, you have to like stay in that area. But like we were like kind of cornered in this thing, and like we were up front, and we were like hornside, like Benny Bloom and fucking Scott
Hmm.
Flynn on this side and everything, and we were close, but it wasn't like, dude, Tahoe was just like, dude, the energy in
We were pretty
there,
close.
dude, yeah, and like, dude, I don't know, the
The
visuals and
whole
like,
energy of Tahoe though
oh,
was
bro,
something else. Like
yeah, yeah.
honestly, as soon as I got off the bus, honestly, I was like, man, this is Telluride vibes. We're in the mountains in a small little town. Like,
And dude, that's what I love about Pretty Lights. Like Pretty Lights is like by chasing the music and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm seeing music, but like it's brought me to like go to these places, and it's like I don't know. Sometimes I've told people like how many like how many times I've seen them, how many states I've been, but like beyond that, like all these cities and even like Telluride's not a place like like oh sure people are like yeah I've been to Austin, I've been to New Orleans, but like Telluride's like something, and Tahoe is like you know unless you ski and
different.
snowboard or you're like a rich motherfucker or something like that, like you're not really going to places
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, dude. I like we were like very close to the show. Like we were literally like so close, and it's like it almost like I said this before on one of the other ones. But it was almost like being at a festival but not like camping, not like just in a sense of like not having like Uber and like all this shit. Like it was everything's in walking distance. Like
Yes.
I walked out of there. My friends were close too, and it was just like the convenience factor was so fucking dope. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, back to just being up front, dude. Like I don't know, like dude, I can't tell you enough. I am like sold on that shit. Like I want to like get up as much as I can if I can. I mean, obviously it's fun being back there, but like when I left, like I don't know. So yeah,
And of course, like if like you said, it's beneficial being by yourself, being able to do that. It's like if being with a group and like getting everyone to do that is a little bit harder. Or
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
like for like yeah.
yeah. And I mean, dude,
In Vegas, I'll be probably in the back because my friend it'll be his first PL show, so
yeah. Well, meet up with
we'll
us
be a
because
little bit
I'm
further
not on
back.
the meet up with us because I'm not on the floor. So
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I have a big crew in Chicago, and then like living out here and going to some shows, like it is different having less people, but like going beyond less people to be on your own, you can kind of do your own thing. So, but real quick, Vegas, you're going night one?
Yeah, I'm only able to make night one due to work,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Are you theming it up at all or
I'm still debating. Yeah, I'm still debating basically. It's
it's
either gonna be theme or maybe like super classy suit wise, since it's
nice?
Vegas.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so back to how we met. So okay, so you say we're up here, so we meet up and we hang out. This is night two. we hang out for the whole first set, and then like my crew's all like, let's fucking leave. And like, let me just build the story foundation here. I like to get after it. Sue me. But I was definitely I was, to be honest, I wasn't like, I looking back on it, I wasn't like really drinking a lot of water, and like honestly, like I was just kind of like, it was a long day and everything, but I was up with you guys, and then we all left. Which, by the way, Days Gone got played, and I was like so pumped for that. And like I had actually, just bumped into fucking their tour manager Phil Salvaggio, and I was like talking about a venue that I think they should play here. But like after that, so I was already pumped, and then I'm like, I want to get back up there, and like my wife was just like kind of like, all right, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm like, yeah, you know what? This opportunity's not going to come all that often. I'm going to go. And I met back up with you and that dude Victor. Shout out to Victor too. He lives in Austin as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I
But
do remember. Yeah, you disappeared and then you came back. I was surprised you came back, which was great.
I know, and
Which
I'm
is
glad
awesome.
I'm glad I found you guys. But again, that's like moving by yourself, and like what's also nice is that the relatively speaking, there was, sometimes you've gone to shows and like, you can't even fucking get through. I mean, you were at Philly,
Can't
right?
get, yeah.
Was that packed? Philly was fucking packed like that.
Philly was packed. Yeah,
And you
Philly
went
was
to New
packed.
Orleans. You went to New
Electric Force
Orleans
was with
too,
us.
right?
Hmm.
And that was packed too. I
Yeah,
mean, and my buddy was saying that the Salt Shed was packed too. I mean, so
there was legitimately a lot of room at that venue.
for
Like
sure,
surprisingly.
for sure. Pretty Lights is big in certain areas, especially like Colorado, Chicago, New York, Philly, like like Atlanta. But like, I don't know, especially on the West. Like, I mean, I think San Francisco has a decent scene, but like down here, dude, until recently, and I don't know if it's just like the way the universe works, but like when I first moved here and like before Pretty Lights came back, and I would like tell people about Pretty Lights, and they like what? They had no fucking clue, and I'm like, it's just like, yeah, okay, like the scene is not like that out here, like.
Yeah, there's not a big scene down here in Austin for PL. Um, yeah, I talk about it to people and they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I like leading up to
Yeah,
ACL, I was like, "You guys," everyone was telling people like, "You got to check out Pretty Lights.
yeah,
Like, you're going and you're there already. You might as well."
straight up. Whatever. I was getting back to the story. All right, this is crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so I meet up with you, and yeah, I let's just say got a little too sauced up. So I honestly was just like in a state of mind and a place when I kind of just was like, kind of just forgot, like, I was like, I was so like, you know captivated by like the lights and everything. I was just like, I don't know. And like that, they did that like "Don't worry, be happy" thing, and it was like, and it was like
Yeah.
slow, and it was like that Portishead thing, like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like that fucking
Yep. That was great.
dude. And it was like slow, and I was just like, whoa. And then like, then they start to go into. I mean, let's just say you're in my phone as Cody Savior, dude, dude, because dude. Okay, let me just say, I like legit, like, yeah, I wasn't hydrating, and just was, a little, um just a little lost in the sauce. But yeah, so I just, one next thing I know, you put your hand on me and you're like, dude, are you okay? And I'm just like, I'm like, and I had like known, I was like, you know but I've earned my stripes and done a lot of shit, but like, sometimes you're
Of
like,
course.
you're messed up, but like you're just like, all right, I'm chilling, like I'll be fine, because you just know, keep that good mindset going. But
Yeah.
like when you put your hand on me, and then you're like, and I just put my arm on, I'm like, yeah, yeah. And like, dude, I just kind of like hung on to you for a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty much through all of Jet
Dude,
Fuel, which was
okay,
fun.
yeah,
But it was great because like I don't know, we've obviously been doing this for a while. You kind of you know the signs and
yeah,
just like
no,
you just gotta check on people,
for
make sure they're all
sure.
good.
And appreciate you, man. I mean, yeah, that was honestly like, that obviously was meant a lot to me, and that's what I love about this community. Like, I fucking meet you eating pizza. Here we are, and like, you just checked in on me and shit. Like, it's funny too. I'm pretty sure you handed me, you know, I don't really remember you handing me a bottle of water, but I guess you look at me and I'm just clenching on it.
Yeah, yeah. I gave
Yeah,
you a bottle of water. Make sure you're all
yeah,
getting hydrated.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's another crazy thing. And I said this on pause before, but like I have to keep saying it. Like so I put a lot of requests in through that like line, but like this is so weird though because I recorded the first pod that we did before, like days before Tahoe, and I was like, because I just put a bunch of stuff in, and now I'm starting to like take screenshots of it so I can like document it and stuff. But like I'm a big Mac Miller fan, but I put in so much shit, and I was just like rifling off, and I even said like I think I put in Mac Miller. I think it was jet fuel. So in my mind, I'm thinking that I did it, and then when it and
Yeah.
in that moment when I got my savior, my arm on my savior's fucking shoulder, and then I'm starting to hear like to the good and the bad times,
Yeah.
all the cuts, broken bones, and the black guys, young motherfucker with a mad mind, made a couple million off a rap line. Yo,
Yep.
and then I hear, and I'm like, wait, no, and then I'm thinking that okay, so like, okay, fast forward, the Grateful Hippie girl like puts this stuff out, and then like she didn't have my name next to it, but there's another song they put on Step Break, and I'm like, hey, I'm just wondering, did someone like do you only give it to the person that does it for? She's like, no, we try and credit everyone. Like, what was your username? And she's like, oh yeah, you didn't do it. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck. And so
Damn.
okay. Here's what's crazy though. Even though I didn't, the fact that I talked about it before is still like in a sense of like so and on top of it, that was like 6 years to the day of his death. So whatever. Either way, that was a crazy time. And then after that, I kind of get my life back in me.
They've been doing great samples with that.
Bruh.
Like even at ACL, the idea sample weekend two, like like the 16th is or the 16th or the 14th is Idea's anniversary of his death too. So it made so much more sense of why they used that sample. It was like, oh, gotcha. That's why they use Smile.
Damn. I don't even see. He's a white dude, right?
Yeah, Idea and Abilities was a duo they used. It was a rap, like a hip hop duo
Was he
that
like
was
tight with
with
atmosphere and shit?
yep,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, and
they with
it was like EYE, like yeah, okay.
mm,
I'm not super
yep.
familiar, but I remember like seeing some like shit back in the day.
Okay, yeah. See, I used to listen to a lot of Atmosphere and Idea and Abilities and that kind of hip hop, like before PL, and that's kind of what really got me hooked onto PL is
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
hip hop style and
After that, then they do the Infinity Dreams, Fleetwood Mac shit, and like and dude, and then yo, and then okay, then they do that like thing with it was like people who like passed away, and it was like Alvin's grandma and like
the Lost Souls tribute.
yeah, and they did the was it like New World Freestyle or whatever with MacBook thing too or whatever or Blue World
Hmm.
Freestyle. Okay, but here's the thing. I know the truth. I lost my shit and like, dude, I'll tell you right now. Before this like new era of Pretty Lights, I didn't really like. I just don't really care for like the popular always hearing songs. And like what I loved about fucking Tahoe is that they didn't play Finally Moving and like and don't get me wrong, I like those. I just feel like those are like okay. Like I just like my perfect set is like fucking just none of that. I don't know. And I'm that way with all music. Like I feel like I don't really like if a song can be killed and overplayed, it might be a good song, but I'm just like if it's played too much, then it's just like God, like just it's
Yeah,
enough. So and again,
I get that.
I don't mean that like obviously I'm any artist and band like they have their fucking go tos and stuff like that, but like yeah, I just thought that especially hit for me too because of that. But that being said, sidebar, I can see it in your face. There's a couple versions that like stand out to me. One of which Red Rocks this year when Don McClawley came out, it was like so slow, and then they like break it down, and like that was fucking awesome. And then there's Buku 2016, and they had it was like the Telluride band, but instead of Scott Flynn, it was Ryan Zoidis on saxophone, and they do this whole like New Orleans Deitch was on the toms and being like doom ba doom ba doom ba doom and like what yeah go back and listen to that if you gotta say but fuck so but again back to this this version of PL that like every song like they could be keep you on your toes all the time. And that drop of I Know the Truth, bro, that fucking
In
motherfucker.
Tahoe?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, like I
Dude,
honestly, Tahoe's in like my top five shows.
Tahoe's my
Like,
top ones,
and
I think, honestly.
it was some of like the best shit.
Yeah, straight
Like
up.
not like both nights were phenomenal. Night one really blew my mind away, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole entire Sunday school into Chain Around My Heart into
yeah,
How Can I Lose to
yeah.
King's Affirmation.
Well,
King's Affirmation.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, starting out with Aim at Your Head, and then, dude, fucking when they did, they did the Solar Sailor, but then they went into the fucking Sound of Silence thing, and that's when I realized, like, when I was up there, and I'm like, yo, this energy, like, and like, I don't think I got Sound of Silence in San Francisco, so I think, and I didn't get it right back. So I think it was my first time feeling it, but like, Joe, the fucking that was insane. And then they do like the hot like rock shit, and like, yeah, it was awesome. And then but
Tahoe was actually the first time I got not first time ever, but first time since the return I've gotten Still Night, and I it's one of my
really,
favorites.
really,
Yeah, I missed
you
Still
didn't get
Night,
it in
and
Philly?
no, I kind of missed the second part of the second night. I had food poisoning,
Uh,
so I didn't really quite fully make it.
you got the whiz wit, huh?
Yeah,
Did
I ate
you?
some bad cheesesteak.
No, dude.
Yeah,
I just
I'm gluten free. I'm gluten
uh,
free, so that is a big issue. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I've never been. I honestly, I really want to go to Philly for. I love Philly people, and I've met a lot of them out here, but they're shit talkers, and like when they, I've talked shit to a handful of them, like, and they appreciate it, like I don't know, a good shit talk, but good ball busting. But I love cheesesteaks too. I'm a big cheesesteak guy, and
I loved Philly. Yeah,
yeah,
it was a great city.
yeah,
I actually liked it a lot.
yeah, dude, and like smaller cities are kind of nice because you can kind of like figure them out quickly. You know what I mean? Like New
Yeah.
York, you need a week in each borough, and I never even been there, but like, and Chicago is like there's 5 Chicagos in New York, but okay, uh, so that's Still Night though. That new thing they've been doing is wild, crazy, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I'm always a night one guy, uh, and I left night one, and I was just like, dude, that was the best night PL, and I don't know. I don't even know which one was better, but night two was just as good. And like, especially after meeting you and shit like that, and just like, fuck, I don't know. Just that whole weekend was just incredible, dude. All right.
Yeah, I
So,
think so.
okay. So at show ends, we all, you walk me back to my friends, and, you know, we take a video. I might even throw that video in here. Yeah.
I forgot
Dude,
about that video.
dude. Uh, And I was like, who would have known I'd be eating pizza with this guy? And then we'd be getting faced in front of it. And then I'm like, I was on the ledge, and you're like, on the ledge. Dude. Yeah. Ugh, man, crazy. So like just if anything else, until we move on to ACL,
Yeah.
shows and experiences of Pretty Lights over your years, like leading up to now, like anything that stick out, some of your favorites, like whether it's venues, festivals, or just off the top.
Yeah, I got a pretty great story for you. So it was 14. It was the year of the symphony, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went night one, had tickets for night one. It was great. I didn't have tickets for night two. Um, I pretty much grew up all of high school going to Red Rocks, stuff like that. Like
Oh, you.
that was kind of our
Oh,
thing every other weekend. Like and we used to go and I'd have like 2 rows of people in my whole class, it's
yeah.
just knew like 50 people around us. It was great. Um, I woke up that morning, ran to Red Rocks because it's open, as a regular park before the show. Um, and I hid in a cave for 6 hours. Um, until the show started, and I had friends come and get me behind a lemonade stand, and yeah, no joke. Uh, yeah, I snuck into night two of Red Rocks 2014
That is some
in a cave.
that is gangster shit, dude. That is some gangster shit, dude. Fuck yeah, man.
And I ran out of that cave and ran and got water and food because I was not prepared at all.
Oh fuck. Yeah, you just kept in there like, wait, I didn't even bring water.
Yeah, I did not think about it because I was like, I don't even know if there's a spot to hide. Right, like I just went to the venue and just like
Oh,
ran around and like saw a spot and like just ran back there real quick so no one could see and stayed as
oh,
quiet as I could because if you didn't know or haven't ever read the signs or the people who are listening and never been to Red Rocks, it's a $10,000 fine. Climbing on the rocks.
yeah, that's a state. Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
yeah. Oh wow, yeah, gangster shit. Fuck. I mean, shit. Should we clip that? Should we cut that? I don't know. We don't get some trouble.
I don't know. I don't know.
Um, no, that's fucking amazing. That's fucking dope as shit. All right, so you know what though? That was going to 14. That was like really cool because they played a lot of shit. Like they even played like some of the like early stuff, like you know, like that disco-y shit, like "Don't Push It, Don't Force It," like or like "Better Than I've Ever Been," like that Kanye thing. You know, fuck it. A lot of that shit,
Yeah.
that shit that Piano Man was on, like you know, all so.
Yeah, I was about to say Piano Man is like one of
Uh,
my favorites. I kind of hope they bring that back
uh,
soon.
they closed out San Francisco night one with that, and you know, let me just say, if you're trying to work out in the gym and you need a jam, Piano Man will get you there because
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it will. That and listening to
And
just what?
Electro Cali. So
Yeah,
that and
for
Electro
sure.
Cali.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Also, if you're on a treadmill and you're trying to bust it, just play the Around the Block That's It remix. Those two drops, you'll be like, all right, I'm fucking cranking it right now. And that's again, that's what I love about Pretty Lights. Like, there's so many vibes to it. You could work out to it. You could chill to it. Like, let's say you're a you like UFC or you sports fan at all, or
Yeah, I love sports. I grew up playing sports.
yeah. So like,
Most
picture
sports.
you baseball fan.
Yeah.
So picture, you know, I'm a White Sox fan, but they would always have a song when they walk out to their batting song. If you could do your walkout song to a Pretty Light song, what would it be?
Oh.
Because that's a certain vibe, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be a certain vibe for a walkout song. I think it'd probably have to be like either Total Fascination or Electric Alley
Yeah.
for me.
See, I'm on that. I'm on that fucking how we do. Bum bum ba bum. Look at that. Bum 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 ba bum bum ba. And dude, when the horns did that with invite, that shit crazy. But or like hot like dimes, hot like rocks,
Yeah,
like you know, yeah, all that crazy shit. But yeah, um, so all right,
I think most people would probably say the classic like "I Know the Truth" for like a
yeah,
walkout song,
yeah, not for me.
but yeah, I wouldn't want to walk out to
Well,
that.
can I tell you right
Oh,
now?
for me.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, straight up. Someone actually asked me. I was talking to someone, a rare person actually heard of Pretty Lights out here at one of the bars I work at, and he's like, "What's your favorite song by Pretty Lights?" And like, I mean, I probably should have just given him an answer, but like, I was like, I can't even do that, like, you know. And then he's like, they're like laughing. He's like, well, I'm like, well, there's so many different fucking, there's unreleased songs, there's you know all this shit, but he was like, is it I Know the Truth? And I laughed. I'm like, no, I'm a deep cut guy, I'm a deep cut. Which what I was
Yeah,
gonna,
I gotcha.
which what I'm gonna say, one of my favorite Pretty Lights songs, and I think it's a masterpiece. And when I first heard it uh, at the Gorge, like fell in love. But "Don't Take My Sunshine," that song is
Yeah,
incredible. Like, dude, it gives me Tarantino vibes. Like, I think of like you know Quentin Tarantino films and shit. Like,
yeah.
I think of like a guy on a fucking horse with a shotgun going like, or like fucking that fucking horns going like wah 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 wah, and then
Yeah.
and then it does that satellite shit like woo woo. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. All right. Just gotta, So, all right, let's go into ACL. So, just share your experience. What you break it down from what you did throughout the day and the festival. Actually saw it leading up to it, and just like the overall vibe, and maybe touch on. I know we talked about it, but not necessarily like I feel like you said, not a lot of people down there are into that stuff. It's probably I think it's a mainstream fest. It's like you're
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. And actually, kind of my whole plan for Saturday for PL kind of actually started Friday. Um, just getting into the festival Friday was a lot.
yeah
Took a lot of time. There's a lot of people just moving through the venue itself, which is it's in a giant park. It was a lot. There was just a lot of people. I easily probably guessed there was about 80,000 people. And so you got to think of all the lines you got to go through for bathrooms, drinks, everything. And I was going with friends, so we talk about going with groups. Everyone's got to do this, do that, wait on each other. Now it took quite a bit to get into the first couple people we saw on Friday to where I was already like, all right, yeah, tomorrow I got to do something a little bit different because yeah,
yeah not having
I
that.
gotta enjoy the show myself.
Yeah,
I paid for this, and this was Pretty Lights was like the main reason I went.
of course.
Since it was in my backyard, I felt like obviously I'm not gonna miss it.
Yeah,
So my friends love like I took them all to Red Rock 17, and they did enjoy it, but they're not obviously as big of PL fans as
yeah.
we are, which is no big deal, of course. And I gave them a heads up. I was like, yes, what I think I'm probably gonna maybe ride rail, so I'll hang out with you guys for like a little bit, but I'm probably gonna be doing my own thing. They're like, we totally get it. Like, go do your own thing, and I was like, all right. So the acts I saw that day were mainly just Benson Boone, which was the person before Pretty Lights. And then I got to like hear and see a little bit of Jungle. Because how ACL is set up, they have about like four or five stages, and there's only two or maybe three stages running at a time because of sound bleed.
hmm
So not all the stages are running.
yeah.
Um, so while we were waiting at the stage, at the Honda stage where PL played, we could see and hear Jungle right across the way. So those are pretty much the main two acts that I saw.
Well, that's
I
nice that's
was,
nice that you could hold down your spot and then fucking still hearing because
yeah, yeah. Going throughout the day, I didn't see too many people in jibs, so I was like, kind of like, okay, maybe this won't be so hard, but I wanted to make sure I was pretty close. So yeah, went to Benson Boone. The whole place cleared out afterwards, which I was very surprised about, honestly, because I just going to PL shows all the time, you're expecting crowds and many people to just sit and wait as well. So that's
hmm
what I was expecting, but
yeah
really not that many people did. So it was an easy just walk up to the rail, met some people who is like their some people is their first show, and some people is like their third or second show. So that was pretty cool. Got to chill with them, talk to them about all their stuff. Met this girl who she was also in Tahoe actually, so that was pretty cool.
nice.
Shout out to her. I kind of forget her and her boyfriend's name, but yeah. And then my friend Victor came up and
Oh yeah.
chilled with him all the rest of the evening. So that was leading up to the set, and yeah.
So yeah, dude. It's crazy because I used to I mean, I love that Pretty Lights is doing these types of things now, but like when I was, I mean, I feel like my trip through Pretty Lights time all made sense because back then I definitely loved the whole festival thing when I was younger, and it was fun to I was totally into the whole experience around it. But now it's like I know what I want, and like I'm older, and like I have to if I'm gonna spend my money, and I have so much more of a you know so much more like responsibilities and expenses and stuff like that. So like, and when I was doing this shit, dude, I was living with my parents. I fucking,
Right?
I mean, dude, I went to one summer or one year, like in 2013, like I went to like 7 festivals, dude. Like they were like a bunch of festivals, and I went to Red Rocks 13. Like I went to so much shit, and like fucking Analog Future Tour, I went to 5 shows in 7 days. You know, I,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, I mean 3 in Chicago, and then Monday, Tuesday off, and then Wednesday Louisville, Kentucky, and then Thursday in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But so whatever, not all I had to do was make sure I had you know enough money to fucking put gas in my car and like buy fucking fast food and throw it on fucking blunts and cases and fucking do whatever else. But yeah, so like that being
Much
said,
simpler time.
yeah. But that being said, those were like sometimes I would travel for 90 minute sets like that. But it's nice that you had that in your backyard. But like I feel like that's probably why you're not seeing that much stuff. Only if it's convenient for people, they're not gonna like do it and everything. Especially with all the options that people have.
Yeah, and that was ACL was a very even going into the festival, I was actually really curious what kind of set they'd even play because of the type of festival it is,
Yeah,
since it's a very diverse music genre
yeah,
festival which caters to a lot of people. It's a lot of families, a lot of everyone, a lot of just Austin's obviously a big college town, UT's here,
yeah,
so a lot of UT kids are just there, a lot of mainstream stuff. So even going into before the fest, I was like, man, I wonder how they're gonna really cater to the people that are. This isn't a PL show,
yeah,
This is not a bunch of people running around in jibs waiting for the gang to come out. So I was like really curious how they're really gonna cater to this kind of audience, and I think they came out firing on all cylinders. Needless to
yeah.
say,
Yes,
I think
yes,
they also put that in perspective, I feel like, and really hit the samples heavy and
yeah,
really weekend one and weekend two were very different. And I had a feeling they would be. I told my friends the day I was like, it's either gonna be like bangers, like old school bangers, or it's gonna be experimental. I was like, it's gonna be one of the two, and I feel like it's gonna be opposite weekends. Like one weekend's gonna
yeah,
get this, and one weekend's gonna get that, and that's
dude.
exactly how it did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say, I was like you said, I was expecting it to like be good, but like it exceeded my expectations, and that Mike Jones still tipping on Fofo shit, and like
Yeah.
and fucking um the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. Like they did that
Oh
shit,
yeah, the deep in the heart of Texas
dude.
boots are made for walking.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna just say, from the sets I used to see at like festivals, I feel like yeah, they were very like okay as a festival thing, but like they definitely dove into like that stuff in their true um like core of what like this new era of Pretty Lights is all about. And I think those people
Yeah.
who are like new to it, like that blows their mind even more. But like, let me just say this: I think the early part of this tour, like let's go to Hampton, and then you got
Hmm.
E Force and Bonnaroo and E Force. Like honestly, I like not like I'm never. Some people like criticize all this stuff. I always love Pretty Light, no matter what show I go to. And like I said before,
Oh yeah.
those are just like my preferences, but I don't give a fuck if they play whatever because I love Pretty Light so much. I'm never not gonna have a good time because it's not only the music; it's connecting with people. I mean, I'm in my fucking element, but fucking, I think, in my opinion, this festival set, this was very like fresh and new.
They got it down to an hour and a half set, so they can do like regular festivals again, instead of like making festivals, not like making, but not every festival is going to give them 3 hours to do their set. So, now if they can actually like crank out a banger set in an hour and a half, and still get it out.
especially the hot theme. So
Hmm.
like that was crazy. So yeah, let's break it down. Just quickly, I mean, and then you were there, so um, okay. Which, by the way, I just want to say real quick. I went to
Yeah.
this concert with my wife and these two friends we got, and like after I left and we go watch it shortly after it ended, I put it on and I see you on the stream.
You were not the only person to send me a picture either
Dude,
that night, which was hilarious.
dude. But I
I had my
mean,
other really good friend.
yeah, what'd you say? You're a really good friend, what?
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I had my other really good friend send me a video of me and on the stream as well, and I thought it was really funny. I was like,
Yeah.
that's two people.
I mean, but it's crazy. I mean, being that everything that happened when we met and then like, now we're doing this, honestly, I feel like, you know, I was meant to meet you, dude. And like, and then seeing you on there, I was like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. And I run about back on the I'm like, yo, that's Cody right there, So, yeah, dude, that was fucking sick. I just thought, like, yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Super
I'm
dope.
glad.
Yeah, no, fucking, man. Awesome shit. So, yeah, let me get back to here. So, just, all right, so the intro, fucking, they definitely faded into fucking, they did a little like 2-minute thing and then went into that hot like sauce intro. And again, the theme is hot. So, like, let's just say right here, hot like sauce intro. Then they go to
And yeah,
hot.
let me tell you, it was hot all weekend.
Oh, damn.
Like,
I didn't even think about that. That's,
it was.
dude.
I could tell Menor was dying in that cowboy hat and
Oh,
get
man.
up, dude. Like, it was hot. Like, it was not
Damn.
yeah.
I didn't even
Which
think,
makes a lot more sense.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. That's
See,
crazy.
that's the downfall of that festival is it's in the middle of a park and there's no shade.
Yeah,
Like there's not really any trees, so there's
yeah,
no shade. Like you're just in the sun, you're just baking in the
yeah,
sun all day. You gotta stay hydrated in the
yeah.
ACL.
Yeah. Which, real quick, also, I think I've never been to Lala. I've had a lot of tickets to it, and I've always sold them. But like, I think ACL is probably like similar to Lollapalooza. Like,
That's what I was thinking this year as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
and Lala's known for like youngies being there, and
that's yeah. Sounds like ACL.
yeah, and that's funny. Like, it's people watching and shit, but like, it's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean, I went, like I was saying, with that show I went with my wife. It was just some. You ever heard of Louis the Child?
Yeah,
So we went to go see that, which it was better than I thought it was gonna be. I'll tell you what. I pulled up their shit on Spotify and I was just like, I'm getting chain smoker vibes, and not necessarily about that, but
they're not that bad. I saw them at Forest a couple times.
I haven't been to a show like that in a while, and just like, dude. And I know I used to like be in that shit, and I was just like getting a kick out of it. Dude, people were like, just like, yeah, real,
Wilding out.
yeah,
Yeah,
and just, dude.
it's much different now, being much older and stuff like that. You like.
But that's what I'm saying. You like going to those. It's weird when you go to festivals and stuff. You get like, it's definitely, you get
It's different being much older now
Oh, for sure.
for the like being quote unquote old for the festival scene
100p.
is different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because then you get the whole mix of crowds and groups. Like, that's what I like about going to PL shows, because we're all there for the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, and we're all kind of on the, obviously you're gonna have
Yeah, now the rooted fans are much older because we've been around for a while,
for sure.
or at least since pre hiatus, So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But I
at
mean,
least
it
5 years,
is.
6 years.
It's gonna. We're definitely getting a next wave of it. But yeah, like, for instance, you like people like you and I. I mean, you've even seen him before I started. But like, were those first shows? Did he have the old drummer?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
He had a
you're
drummer for
even
the
like
first
on
couple
the
months.
you're
Yeah.
before. So you saw that, then you saw solos, then you saw Analog Future. Then I'm sure you caught. Did you ever catch Deitch, Carnes, and Derek together? The three. They only did a handful of shows.
I don't think just the three. I definitely know I've like with the Deitch
Yeah,
and
there was only a couple of them.
Derek.
So I know they did Snowball.
I never made it to a snowball,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Um, but I saw there's this festival at Soldier Field in Chicago, and they did in 2014, and they did just those three, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so that, and then the Analog Futures, and then the extended Analog Futures, and then back to solos, and then the PL Live, and now the Soundchip Space System. I mean, there's a fuck ton of stuff going on there. I mean, even Brian Coogan, Brandon Butler straight off. I mean, So it's cool to like see all that and shit. So
It's been definitely a treat to see
progression.
the advancement of the project as a whole for sure,
I
and the
mean,
vision that like Derek has had and what it's evolved into and stuff like that is just amazing.
it's
And
crazy.
now it's just like top notch. Like
Yeah.
it's like me telling people to go see Pretty Lights at ACL. I had this guy I worked with today or yesterday. He came up to me and he goes, "Hey, dude, I checked out Pretty Lights at ACL. Like, thanks for telling me to check him out. I really enjoyed it." I was
Fuck
like,
yeah.
"Awesome! Like, heck yeah,
Fuck yeah.
that's all I wanted to hear."
Fuck yeah.
And even if you're lying to me, that's all I want to
I mean, dude, you know how many
hear.
times I tell people like, you heard of this? Hey, I'm just like pushing it, dude. Like it's like I'm trying to make commission on this shit. Any new people come in, welcoming with open arms for sure. This is my whole like idea for this like podcast. It's not only just like talking about the shows, it's like the stories, and like whether it's someone who's been seeing this just as long, if not longer than me, or like talking to someone who's new to it and like diving into their mind and shit like that. So it's super cool. I mean, I love this shit, dude. This is the shit I live for. So okay, back to the hot theme. All right, God, that was a tangent. Uh,
Yeah, a little bit.
but this is what it's
It's
all
all right.
about, though. This is what it's all about. The conversation keeps going. So, once again, appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing this. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, hot like sauce intro, hot like dimes rocks, and then a million tomorrows. So like hot like a million tomorrows, whatever, um, and then hot like spots that sponges remix, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was great.
nuts,
It was really good.
nuts. I mean, nuts, dude. And again, that's another thing where like hot like sauce is like one of those ones, but like I feel like out of all the popular ones, like that one definitely like still holds. And I think that's the first Pretty Light song I heard ever. Then they go hot like sauce, and then they do the Total Fascination versus hot like sauce, and then close out with How Can You Lose?
Yeah.
I mean, yo,
I was even saying I'd turn to Victor and go, man, they're really looping back around to this.
yeah.
It was great.
Have you ever seen Tipper?
No, actually, I have never seen Tipper.
I seen him once, and I'll tell you right now, I did not like it at the time, but I think I would like it more now. But I went. It was just like a whole weird vibe thing. But I guess he started his set and ended his set with the same song, so it's kind of like a back thing or whatever. And he's a turntablist, like fucking scratcher, and obviously him going up there with Pio and Red Rocks was, something. But yeah, I think that again, they're so like calculated and dialed into like their set like presentation. Like it has so much like deeper meaning. I mean, again, going back to the Mac Miller stuff and even the idea shit, which I didn't even know. I mean, dude, see, that's just like wild. Is like there's like you watch a lot of TV shows and shit.
Not like too much, but like, so that's like kind of why, like, I don't know, this sounds kind of crazy to an extent, but I feel like this is the podcast to, say it on is like, that's what I think, like, Derek's a musical genius, in my opinion. Like, he
Yeah,
does all this shit, like, so calculated and
no,
so on point that, like, it's great, and he really just he pays tribute to like artists and like real artists and stuff that he like. I mean, I don't know if he necessarily admires them, but he's not gonna play like. I think he puts in and uses samples of artists that he thinks are also really good at their craft. He's not gonna put in like Lil Pump or something, like that. Just some
yeah,
random junk.
yeah. I mean,
He's gonna put
yeah,
in someone that he thinks is really good at their craft and
yeah,
is an artist themselves. That's
yeah. But and especially the ones he like really pays homage to, I think, especially coming from his background of being a sample based thing, and that the fact that they're really diving into this and using that as a like a fucking a plan to like for each like set and like having like this whole like underlying fucking like Easter eggs going on and stuff. So like why I asked you about like TV shows and stuff, like I feel like I don't know if you ever watched Breaking Bad. that's a show. I mean, in a series where like, and let me just say, from all of that, like Breaking Bad, El Camino, the movie, and then Better Call Saul, masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Poetic justice, like each character's fallout and ending was amazing. But like, there's shows like that, Sopranos. I mean, and even like Game of Thrones and shit, like where you watch the second time around, you watch it, it's almost better than the first. And the more you watch, you pick up on more stuff. Like that's how layered this shit is. Whereas like
Yeah.
if it's a basic stupid show or a basic stupid song, you hear it once and you're like, okay, I'm never gonna get anything else out of that, And this shit just again is, and then by talking to people about it, just like talking to you, and they tell you about these things going on, and like it's just that's what I mean, dude. I can't say enough. This shit fucking
That's why it's so hard to explain to people. Like they're like, "You're gonna go see Pretty Lights again?" And they're like, "Yeah, of course I am." Like, is it not the same stuff? You're like, "No, it's different
I know,
every
I
single
know,
time." And
I
it's
know.
like, even if they play the same, well, even if they play the same song as they did last time, it's gonna be different.
Yeah,
And like, it's just so hard to explain that to people who just don't know anything about it. And it's just, yeah,
yeah,
you're like, it's gonna be different all the time, every time.
yeah, dude. It's crazy because even just today, there's this guy who's a regular next to us, and um, he asked you I'm seeing. I said, "Pretty Lights." Oh yeah, I like Pretty Lights. And like, I'm like, "Oh, you know of him?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's EDM, right?" And I was like, "You just have to say like, yeah, I got,
Yeah,
but like, it's under that, like, it's a subgenre of it, but like, dude, it's crazy. Like, even so, my uncle lives in Asheville, and obviously they got like the hurricane running through there and stuff, and I sent we got a group chat, and I sent like this article link, and it said like about Derek like doing the like media stuff, like signed posts, like all this stuff to help raise money and stuff, but like the article or whatever it was, like how they do like BuzzFeed and stuff like that. It was like EDM, like
yeah,
journalism, and it's just like again, it's just like you can't. Unfortunately, that's just where it's paired up with. But like, I mean, here's the thing: like at one point, it was like Skrillex, Pretty Lights, Bass Nectar, Avicii, and Dead Mouse were running the game, the headlining game. You know what I mean? And
basically, yeah,
those are all very different category. Like those music are not even like you got fucking Dead Mouse on that like trance analog house, like whatever. Like I guess I don't know. Well,
yeah,
you know more than me, but like and then you got Skrillex is that at that time that dubstep shit, and then Bass Nectar has his own sound. Like I don't even know how to categorize
yeah.
that.
It's like they're all so different in their own, but your average person or j- umbrella category would just be EDM,
Yeah,
unfortunately, to the average
but
person.
let me just say, like you hear any one of those artists, and you just know that it's them because they created their own sound.
Yeah.
Like how many of these other people like you hear it and you're like, who is this? It could be fucking a million different fucking people. Like I don't know.
So I've said this for like quite a while, and this was obviously kind of like pre like well when Bass Nectar was still around, and I was saying it, and I was still it still kind of holds true to a lot of the artists here like around, and I'd say this, I'm like there's very few artists that like DJs, EDM, like EDM artists, whatever you kind of want to categorize it
Yeah.
at, that I feel can and will do this for the entire long run of their life. Like there's so many people who get burned out or can't keep up with like festival schedule or whatever that they fall off or they're
Yeah.
big for a season, a summer
Yeah.
or
Straight up.
whatever, and there's those select few that are like really talented at their craft and they are gonna continue to do it and have a game plan set, and
Yeah.
we'll probably do this for a really, really long time till we're old,
Yeah.
till we're much older than we are now.
And those who can keep like stay. I don't know because I feel like a lot of people artists like I feel like sometimes the pressure of like making something better like fucks with them, and it's like you want to be different and not be like I don't know because then like, but I feel like that's what Pretty Lights keeps doing, and like I feel like Skrillex even is like now his music's totally different, and um I don't know.
I
I
think
don't.
the most important thing for artists who want to do that is like stretching the boundaries of their
Yeah.
sound and stuff, and like
Yeah.
testing their own limits as a musician.
Yeah.
There's plenty of artists, especially I don't mean to hate on this genre of like dubstep or rhythm, who like it's kind of cookie cutter, you know,
Yeah.
they have the same kind of like outline of a song, and they might just put a different catchphrase here or there, and
Mm-hmm.
you know run they are around for a couple summers or whatever, and
Yeah.
they just kind of trickle off here or there, or have their
Yeah.
big hits and trickle off.
Yep. Yeah. You know what's wild though is like, I mean, if any artist made it past COVID, that was a tough time too. I think because you know,
Yeah.
you had to either like just. I feel like I don't even. I look at some of these lineups. I don't even know most of these fucking people and shit. And yeah, I don't know, like, dude. That shit's wild. But yeah, like yeah, just like you're saying. I mean, obviously, Avicii passed away and Face Nectar. You know.
Man, so I had this kind of conversation with a friend about like Electric Forest of kind of what we're talking about of like lineups and stuff is like I think it was much different kind of back in the day when we were like in our 20s and stuff because all the artists that we really love now and are as big as they are were the up and coming artists.
Yeah.
So we did get those stacked lineups
Yeah.
of you know, Avicii, PL, and Bass Nectar, like all those people, etc. And because they weren't, they weren't the top of the tier, at the time those people were Cascade, Tiesto,
Yeah.
whatever. So we did get to see all those really stacked lineups, and now they're all their top tier headliners that they all
Yeah.
have their own stuff.
Yeah. Well, even like going below that, um, like I remember Manic Focus. Like I was, who Manic Focus, right? Obviously.
Yeah, oh
So
yeah,
yeah, he was like when I first started getting into it, he was like pretty like small and like he's gotten pretty big up there like now and same thing with Matty O'Neill, but I mean I've talked to Manic on multiple occasions and stuff like that. And he's definitely like it's cool to see that stuff and he was just like kind of telling me about like a lot of stuff in the industry which like you don't even realize like how like did you go you remember you weren't at E-Force 2013 but you remember Big Grismatic and shit how they were doing that stuff
hmm
like and they couldn't even
yeah,
Lollapalooza has like a radius clause I guess so like if you play Lollapalooza you can't play a show within the radius area for like 3 months before and 3 months after so they
hmm.
couldn't at E-Force it was like Grismatic was special guest. They couldn't even put Big on the fucking lineup thing. So and like he was just breaking that shit down to me and like there's like because every city festival you go to the lower tier of artists those are all local artists so it goes
Yeah,
and you're like there's a clause that you have you're either a local artist or you're a touring artist so like within that um those boundaries you have to either be touring around or you stay within your area and there's like handful of people in Chicago that were always at every festival and stuff like that but like once you're in there you can't go because like if you're big enough you play like for instance Pretty Lights could play fucking 14 shows I know Fish does that and I don't know what the difference there is but like Pretty Lights could just play a million shows in Colorado but like you just like can't
yeah.
like on a money
Hmm.
like on a money
I
on
don't
a
think I definitely didn't know anything about
yeah,
all
yeah.
that,
So it
but
was just cool to like see that shit. Like, but you know, come to I go to one of Manic Focus's live band shows, and like going back on that, not only did Pretty Lights create this subgenre of music, but then all these, which is he paved the road, dude. Like he's a pioneer, and all these
oh
other,
yeah,
I mean, you got Break Science live band, Manic Focus live band. I think Grizz did a live band. You got and like Marvel Years is playing in fucking Manic Focus's live band. I mean, dude, just like
yeah.
the guy
And
is fucking
touching on all the artists that we kind of spoke about, like Skrillex, PL, like all those people also like had their own sound. That's what really stood them
oh
out
for
from
sure,
everyone else, is they were all so different than everything
yeah,
else. Like
yeah,
like even now, and kind of like you've mentioned on some of your past podcasts, is like you can't put a genre to PL. Like
yeah,
it's electro funk, whatever the fuck, it's not a genre. It's
yeah.
it's pretty light. Like it's its
Well,
own thing.
yeah, And I feel like they used to say electro, hip hop, soul, but like now, I know he says like electro, swirl, magnetic, dubtronic, Americana, but like to me, it's just electronic jam and
Yeah,
electronic space jam. But like jam, like jam bands, especially Grateful Dead, like Grateful Dead again, pioneers to the jam era, but like they
mhm.
pull from jazz and all these different fucking genres and like mesh it in, and like there's like you could go any which way, and it's just like it's never again, it keeps people on their toes, and like they, which yeah, it's a cool thing. And back to what you said, I was like, there's this guy I know out here, and I was telling him, he's like, man, you're always going to see them. He's like, so what? You seen that many times at the same thing? I'm like, no, dude, it's not like any artist you see that plays the same shit. Like they've got so much music that in a 3-day weekend, they had so much other shit they could have played, and they never repeat. So yeah, dude. It's and also just the visuals. It's crazy to think that like how that's gone up too over this time. Like
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Uh, so yeah, weekend too. Did you go outside or were you at home?
No, I just chill on the couch.
Nice, dope.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't want to go deal with traffic
yeah, fuck that. Yeah. Where do you
because
live in Austin?
it's right downtown. I live like South Austin,
Yeah.
so
So is New Braunfels close?
um,
Were you close to New Braunfels, or is that north of Austin?
that's south. That's still further south of Austin.
Okay.
It's probably like in 45 minutes,
Okay.
maybe an hour.
Is it like halfway between there and San Antonio?
It's a little closer to San Antonio, I
Gotcha.
believe.
Nice. Yeah. Real quick, that venue,
I really like that venue.
I did, but dude, the security was on one there, dude. Like, not getting in was fine, but they were like looking for people like smoking weed and shit, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, I don't know, but it was cool though. I mean, I definitely, I mean, that was my last
And
time.
deep in the heart of Texas, that's what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, but yeah, it was. That was my last time, 2017 to 2023, dude. Like fucking crazy, but yeah. So okay, so you chill at home. Did you do the lucid streams or you just do the Twitch?
I just do the Twitch.
Yeah,
I've tried the Lucid streams. I didn't really notice too much of a difference.
yeah,
So I just do Twitch.
yeah. I don't know. I a lot of times I'm working on my bar gigs on the weekends and shit. So a lot of times I can't do it. But I feel like when I get now that we're slowing down, and I work at like a daytime bar, so we go off the sunset. So now I'm going to be able to do a lot of these, which we should do some, pre-show. I want to do like prediction and then like mid-show stuff, and then set breaks, and then that like if you're ever down. But yeah, so let's go into set two. All right, so that silver dollar opener thing, 7 minutes, a little over 7. Real nice. And then Asi e la Vida, that thing they did that at Bethel Woods. That's that. I
Yeah.
don't have to wonder no more. I feel it deep
Okay.
down in my soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bum bum, dum
I don't
dum,
know.
bum bum.
The ethereal Texas sun was
Yeah. Oh
a
yeah.
banger.
Oh for sure. Who do they sample in that?
So I think it's Leon Bridges and it's a local band
Isn't it that?
called
Isn't it? Oh yeah, they
Krungling.
played Bonnaroo. It's like those chicks and shit, like playing bass and stuff like that,
They,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They were playing Saturday at ACL
Didn't
the
they play
same
right
day,
before
but I
Dua
was
Lipa or something like that on that stage?
yeah, I was camping. I was camping at the rail while they were
Uh,
playing.
by
Because
by the
I didn't
way,
originally want.
fucking, you see they put on Twitter or something like Dua Lipa's people are hearing
Yep.
Pretty Lights on there. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
yo
The
yo,
bass was too much. Yeah.
fucking shit.
Well, so
I'm gonna take it for a ride.
the guy who told me that he checked out Pretty Lights and he loved it, he was told me, he's like, yeah, my friends went to go see Dua Lipa and then they came back.
Yeah.
He's like,
Why?
yeah,
I
they all
mean,
came
why
back.
would you, dude? Dude, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I'll tell you right now. and I love rap, but like aside from that, like unfortunately for most of the time, like rap, and I like a lot of artists like that are not. They're better in the studio, but especially
Yeah,
pop artists, like they're not going to be as good. I mean, they're
they're not.
focusing they're
No,
focusing on choreography and outfits and all this like Super Bowl shit. Not I mean, obviously not to that degree, but like they're more on
yeah,
the glitz and the glam over the fucking real like
it
the nuts and bolts of what it comes from. You know what I mean?
for sure,
So
for sure.
yeah. All right, but so okay, so they do that ACL La Vida thing, and then the Blue Skies both ways. That shit that debuted at Bonner, that fucking Woody uh Woody Nelson with that Pink Floyd um from the wall like little thing. Omega Children, and then Understand Me Now, which Understand Me Now is now a new one that's kind of like I don't think there's any run that they don't play that, which is I don't know. I mean,
I mean, since Bethel, they haven't played Finally Moving, so we didn't get it at Tahoe.
I got it at
They
Red
didn't play
Rocks.
it at ACL.
Yeah, Red Rocks.
Well, no, no, I just mean they since
Oh,
it
you're
was one of
right.
the
You're
ones that
right.
they
No.
always
Oh, yeah.
play.
My bad. Yeah.
They
I
didn't play
for
it at Tahoe. They didn't play it at ACL.
when. Oh
So
no, Bethel.
they
Okay,
kind
yeah.
of
So
stopped.
Bethel was before Red Rocks, right?
No, Bethel was
Oh
the
yeah.
one
No,
before
you're right.
Tahoe.
Yeah, yeah. My bad. My bad. No, you're right. Oh wow, that's actually dope. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, I like that.
Yeah, so
I'm with
yeah,
it.
everyone, that was one thing everyone has been saying is like, oh, yo, they haven't played Finally Moving.
Yeah, and then make it a deep cut, and then when it comes, make it a bust out. You know. Uh.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
Understand
mean,
Me
that's what
Now.
they did with A Million Tomorrows, basically. Like before the hiatus, they hadn't played A Million Tomorrows in a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then they just started playing A Million Tomorrows like since the return.
Yeah. Well, they always used to do hot like a million tomorrows, but yeah, like fucking. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of ones that used to do a lot, and I feel like that, like for instance, Sunday School. I mean, when we got that at Tahoe, it was like I don't even know. Like I know they did that at the Caverns when Deitch came out, but like I don't know. I feel like that has
Yeah,
yeah, that's been like slipped
it's
on.
not one that they do that often,
Yeah, and that one is
which is
nice.
always great when they do.
Yeah, and that hits home for me because you know what I grew up Catholic. I had to fucking go to church all the time. I mean, religion can be good and all. Like, I just like there's some things that turn me off about it, but like for me, I'm like, yeah, fuck 'em. I didn't want to go to heaven anyway. you know, I mean, dude, I'd do a sleepover at my buddy's crib. And my mom's like, all right, picking up at 8:30 for church, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I'm like, hey, mom, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. If I don't watch it one Sunday, am I not a fan? I mean, also, she wanted me to dress up nice for church, and then I'm like, hey, they talk about helping, they don't care about what you're dressed in. It's not about that. It's about this, right? I was just very, so that's right. Sunday school. Yeah. All right. I digress. All right. Still night again. That shit. Nice. And World is a Cinema. One of my favorite tracks of the new ones.
It's Yep, yeah, I concur. I
World
was
is a
honestly saying I wish I
Cinema.
would have gone weekend two.
Yeah. You're always gonna say that though. I mean, dude,
Yeah, always for
when I
sure.
went to Red Rocks, like I said, we only went to one night, and like I said, I was always a night one guy, and I think night one, I still think, I don't know, it's tough because there's still some good moments there, and like, dude, okay, that's another crazy thing. I, I even got. You ever seen those jerseys that dude Adam Strawn was making? They're like pretty
I
like
mean,
they're like hockey
I've
jerseys and
seen the
shit.
PL, yeah, I've seen the
Yeah.
PL jerseys.
So I got one, and I made because you always put a song name on the back, and I did a
Hmm.
Dionysus one, and I put 14 on the back because they debuted that at Red Rocks 14, and then I go back 10 years later, and then they play the Dionysus,
Yeah,
and then I make a video for my friend's bachelor party and use that song too. So I mean, yeah, but I just loved when the guests come up, and I loved how they did the I Can See Your Face Slow Down thing, and then the still night, the 20-minute still night was crazy, and then also, fill your eyes, Solamente into fill your eyes, yo,
yeah,
fire. It's just like real like hip hoppy and shit, like yeah, and then opening up was still rocking. on the second set,
Yeah.
or first set, yeah. After they did the whole Menard and Derek shit, but yeah, still rocking. Yeah, so whatever. It's always you're always gonna want what you can't get. You know what I mean? So, all right,
Very true. Very
yeah.
true.
But yeah, so Wolves and
Always the
then
next one's going to be the best,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, straight up. But yeah, the I never can pronounce it. I'm so bad with fucking Grant. But oscilloscope thing or whatever, they do that a lot. Like, it's just kind of like a uh fucking analog like synth jam thing that he kind of just does some light stuff to or whatever, and whatever. But then they go to the ethereal thing, and then go off, which
Yeah.
I thought was okay. Backcheck. The ethereal San Francisco one though. You remember that one? It was just like,
Yeah, the Indu, yeah.
that's one of my favorites. That's like they need to bring that one back too. Like, that's one of my go-tos. They do that.
I think we've gotten a whole new round of like rarities to an extent. Like,
Oh,
you know how like Tricky and like all that were like the rarities pre-hiatus, and
yeah,
they came back and like just kind of like played them out, so kind of everyone got to
yeah,
finally like hear them live. And
yeah.
I think now we have a whole group of rarities that we're
Oh,
not
for sure.
really like. Obviously, they do the ones like per stop that are like obviously like we'll never get Lost Souls tribute again
Yeah,
from Tahoe, like because it was a Sierra Nevada sample, and
yeah.
Texas Sun will never
Oh,
be played again. But like
I forgot to say,
stuff like,
I got Sierra Nevada just because we were there together. But
yeah,
yeah, but keep going. Yeah,
but yeah, no, I just think there's some new rarities. I'm honestly hoping King's Affirmation is one of those that
yeah.
they'll play sometime down the road again.
I'm
But
sure they will. But yeah,
I
like
think,
just like they did that Philly shit, this Philadelphia, and the fucking
yeah,
the always swirly in Philadelphia shit, and that's what's just so sick, dude. Like you're never, it keeps like yeah, the fucking the bag of fucking deep tracks keeps growing up, and it's crazy because I I requested the Day Is Gone, and they played it, and I lost my shit, and then like that Pretty Nice site. Again, shout out Pretty Nice. That guy's fucking awesome. But like, I looked at it and I was like, I looked at all the times I heard The Day Is Gone. And I was like, wow, I actually heard it a lot more than I thought. For instance, Telluride, they played it. That Spring Awakening show, they played it. Again, a handful of others for sure, but I don't know, but now I'm like good and shit, and now I have a bunch of others. Which, by the way, Give Your Love Away.
yeah.
I need that thing, dude. That also digital as fuck. You know that track?
I probably do. I'm terrible with track names. I'm not a
Uh,
track person.
it's all right. But SoundCloud, when homework for you, go listen. And it's like just fucking. They played it like Hangout down in Alabama, Gulf Shores and shit. Check it out. It's fucking sick. So the Go Off track, that was the Purple Haze Jam, which dude, that one is nice too. Very nice.
Yeah,
And then the
played
Berlin.
that at Bethel, right?
Oh yeah, the Bill Withers, like they didn't do it on this one, but at Bethel it was like Grandma's hands. Go to church on
Oh yeah,
Sunday
that's right.
morning. Grandma's hands. Billy, don't you run so fast? Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hands. Boom, boom. Dude, yeah. Fucking fire. I mean, dude. Yeah, dude, the soul samples hit so hard. And then the Berlin Dream Smile, which, let me just say,
Yep, that was great.
that one's amazing. But at Bethel, they sampled Truckin' by the Grateful Dead. Are you a Grateful Dead fan at all?
I
Yeah.
not I haven't really ever really got into them. Well, I haven't really dug into them though
As I
either. So
I got in the hiatus. I got in seeing Dead and Company. I got very into them, and they're one of my favorite things. And like I, my first time seeing Pretty Lights after all that was in San Francisco, and they do all this Dead stuff, and it blew my fucking mind. But aside from that, too, this was very cool. And because Truckin's like one of the most popular, so that's the one where Long Straight Trip comes from.
okay,
So yeah, they sampled that a little bit in there, which was awesome. But yeah, either way, that track is great, and I love these extra layers to PL, and the fact that they closed out. I mean, dude, would you ever before see the last four songs be Ethereal, and that Go Off PL like Purple Haze thing, and then Berlin Dream Smile, and then the I Can See Clearly, like a song that's new. I mean,
The
yo,
Phil Collins,
see
yeah.
there, yo, this is what I'm looking at. Like that's what I want. I mean,
No, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
yeah, and my wife like likes this stuff. Like if she's a big soundtrack fan, but she likes Pretty Lights, but like not obviously on my level. But like she was even at Tahoe, like, dude, they didn't even play all those like some of the songs. I'm like, yeah, great. I'm about
That's
it.
what,
I'm
yeah,
about it.
what made it great.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So essentially that wraps up that. Obviously had more to touch on the weekend one, but so overall thoughts of the two sets, which was better in your mind? I mean, and if you don't have an answer, if you think both are great, that's how I feel too.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I think they're both great for what they are. They're both so different. Like I kind of said, like Weekend Two is a little bit more experimental.
Yeah.
They have those more new tracks like World is a Cinema, Berlin Dream Smile. But then you just have like all the bangers like Week One or a lot of hot like sauces,
Yeah.
hot like rocks, hot like dimes. But I mean, yeah, they're both great. I do think watching Weekend Two, I think Weekend Two is slightly better.
Yeah. I don't know. I do. I just think. I don't know. For whatever, I think the Texas vibes were heavy on the first one. And just again that
Yeah,
like when they did, I know that I love how they do that. I know the truth, and they can break it into a hip hop thing, and they that so tipping on fofos. That shit just was
yeah. No, I think
yeah,
Weekend One was definitely like I think it was great, and it definitely caters a lot more for like PL fans, and
yeah,
then Weekend Two was a lot more
yeah,
kind of like let's
yeah,
try to get new people into this type deal.
yeah. And you're probably assuming it's always this way. Like just like at Tahoe, the Saturday was more crowded than Friday. Weekend two is going to be more than weekend one. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
all right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm always like I can never like necessarily choose, but yeah, I feel like had I like let's just say if I was you, had I gone to weekend one versus two, it's just to me I'm always like I think the first night or the first whatever it is, it has more like aura and excitement to it because it's like that was cool, but we still have another
Yeah,
but when you're at the last one, you're like it's over. You know,
it's over. It's lost.
it's almost
How
done.
much
Yeah,
longer do we got?
yeah. You're like, only 15 more minutes. Oh fuck.
Shit.
But yeah. So all right, let's go into Pretty Lights news as of recent. Hurricane relief donations. Again, beyond what we've already talked about, these are things that people aren't doing. I mean, you know, really
Right.
making a difference and like using their platform to do something to help others. Like in general, Pretty Lights is just a selfless dude, and really again uses his like he's not even out. Like one thing about Derek, he's not very he doesn't like disclose his personal life at all. Like not only like talks about like obviously there's like these underlying like rumors and things about his past and stuff like that. But like he never comes out and says that stuff. But even then, he doesn't
Mhm.
go out on Instagram and be like, "Hey guys, I'm donating this. If you want to do that, blah blah blah." He's just like,
He
"Hey,
just does it.
yeah," and just hey,
Yeah.
boom, and then puts his team to work and just says, "Hey, let's use this and not focus. It's not about me. It's about them." You know. So
Yeah, ever since kind of especially even just, he's really done that since even just getting a band in general, like even with the Analog Future, like that's kind of really when he's just kind of like, hey, this isn't just about me. Like I have
yeah,
all these other musicians up here with me, like, and that's kind of I've noticed now, especially more this year than even last year. But like when he does his things, like when he's on stage, like introducing or giving, like telling the crowd, like I got Michael Menner
he never
album
says
tour June,
himself.
like yeah, he will never say
Yeah,
himself at all
exactly.
anymore, and someone's usually has to get on a mic and say his
Yeah,
name for
yeah, yeah,
everybody, but yeah, he
yeah,
will not say his name
yeah.
anymore, like nothing.
Humble as fuck, dude. I
Yeah,
mean,
yep,
dude. I mean,
Absolutely.
what? I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't know. I mean, people from the outside looking in, like, how are you so like into all this stuff, and like, obviously we've talked about how many layers to it goes, but like, aside from the music, aside from the progressions, just like as a person, like, someone that I like could only like imagine and strive to be like. I mean, dude, like the motivation and the determination and the the wherewithal to fucking know your vision and not give a fuck about what anyone says at all. Because I'll tell you right now, like there were times when there was question marks and stuff going on. And, like this dude is just like he gets it, man. And like and another thing to pull in Menard and rejuvenate their. I mean, dude. I mean, respect
Yeah.
on the fullest. Like, dude, I can't say enough, dude. And like, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have all these memories, all these fucking experiences, and then it even goes to now of gaining a new friend like yourself and my one of my OG fucking podcast fucking guests. And you know what? Based on the way it's going now, dude, you're gonna be a regular. So this is easy. Yeah, straight up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's like yeah, like I kind of touched on earlier is like my opinion of Derek of just kind of being like quote unquote a musical genius is like when he even started the Analog Future Band, you gotta think of like so he made color map of the sun, right? Like here from scratch himself, like made all the samples, then collaged those together, and then he picked up a band, taught everyone how to play them, like pretty much orchestrated it all, and like it's just like he's just on another level,
but
like
dude, and I think
and
I don't necessarily know, but like this is what I like think, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but I feel like a true like artist who's like I feel like you're never satisfied, and like I feel like for Derek, obviously he got there, but I feel like with Analog Future, he kind of felt like he couldn't do as much, and everything was kind of like orchestrated. And I feel like that's why he called it PL Live after they did that, because I feel like even though they went, a lot of people were like, why'd they go away from the horns and so they went away from the horns and stuff, and everyone was like upset about that. But then like I feel like because that was going towards this thing. Um,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
uh,
you see the people online who kind of say like the Analog Future Band, like lived and died for it to be PL Live for what it is
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we had the
yeah,
Analog Future Band to grow into what it is now.
yeah.
And
Um,
it kind of is true. I mean, we had like you had the band, like obviously he would orchestrate, kind of teach everyone how to play, and then but now like we have Borum, Menor, like all these incredible artists on their own individually. Not saying none of the artists or band members prior weren't talented, but they just have a different vibe and connection now, I feel.
no, I mean they're very talented. I feel like for instance, you know, Benny Loons with lettuce, Dices with lettuce, and obviously Coogan left.
Yeah, yeah,
Scott Flynn started playing with Odessa. I think in general, I think they were very orchestrated and melodic. You know what I mean? So like, kind of like a lot of times Derek might be up there and be like, "Hey, this is like almost like not like he's doing that, but like fucking
yeah.
like less room to work with, and now to where they're at, it is like you never know what's gonna
Freedom.
happen, and
Yeah,
but I will say the Analog Future had like a lot of stuff that I loved that the a lot of those jams that uh,
yeah, absolutely.
I did put in a lot of requests, and I screenshot these ones for sure. But they did two separate request lines, and I guess you're only allowed 5 non-PL track ones, but I definitely put some Analog Future shit in there for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Which, by the way, yo, wait, you were at 15. Yo, do you know? And if you haven't, go back and listen. But there's one track of it that's separate, like, or you can either listen to the pre-track to it or the full Exodus. But they call it Laserbox, and dude, it is nasty. And then they use that Drake sample. It's like one thing about music: when it hits, you feel no pain. And it's like fucking,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
bruh. I mean, that shit is So nice. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
I haven't heard it in a while, but I do remember that sample.
Dude, yeah, that in the New Moon Jam or Full Moon Jam or whatever it's called, dude, real sick. But you know what's crazy? Like I seen Odessa. You know, it's crazy that like Pretty Lights started opening up for Soundtrap. Obviously, got bigger than Soundtrap. Then Odessa started, and Scott Flynn was up there playing with him. But you could just tell it's like the same set every time, and like it's just like
Hmm.
confetti and stuff like that, and it's just again, that's the thing where people say, "Oh, you've seen him all these times," and that's the shit that you may think about or whatever. But yeah, again, that's the shit that pretty that you could like, you're gonna get stuck in that way, and pretty less is not. He's like, nah, fuck that, I think
Right. It's like if you see Drake 30 times, you're gonna get the same set 30 times, you know?
nah. Oh, by the way, did you notice the floating lasers at ACL?
I
Because
was too close, no.
hey, fine by me.
Only watching it back,
Fine by
yeah.
me. Yeah, no, Greg shared that, I guess. But that, I mean, see, that's the thing. Greg keeps, going off on that shit too. So, all right, more PL news. Chicago NYE announcement. I'm sad. I'm not gonna be able to do that. And I'm from there. I haven't seen Paradise in Chicago in like 8 years, like 2017. But like I saw my last show before uh, the New Braunfels episode 10 was fucking in Chicago, and yeah, that one hurts for sure. But uh, it's
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get the days off,
All
so
right, let's do a
didn't
let's
bother trying.
let's do a live stream party.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, for sure. Last thing on the PL news: Vegas next week. I mean,
Next week.
bruh,
Dude, you got the riddle down or what?
the what?
I think I got it. I,
Uh,
I think I have two answers on those riddles.
oh,
I like my answers.
disclose. Fill me in.
This is close. So one of the so
So
I
the
forget
man,
I
the
forget
man
the
in
riddle, but
stripes or whatever.
not that one. So the other one, the answer is a book or a mouth.
All right. Well, here, break
And
it. Tell what was the thing before that.
it's pretty much like it's like I'm open to all. Many can read me. Um, when you reach me to the top, my something hushes,
Oh,
and
it's a
when you run that
secret. It's a
through,
secret. I thought.
it's a riddle, and then when you run that riddle through, honestly, if you just run it through Google, it comes up with the answer of a book. And but the man in stripes is the one that's tricking up everybody. And I ran the whole saying from the thing into AI, and it shot out a bunch of weird stuff. And not weird stuff, but it broke down the riddle itself as a whole. And the AI said they are the man in stripes because they are striping patterns and information constantly to give you answers, which ties into ancient future because AI is future, and then the um, read find the person in stripes to give them a password that only an ace detective would know, and AI says it's who done it, and that's the saying that every ace detective asks in a detective movie is who done it. So there's a couple others that I have in theory, but there's just some things that I'm on to that I'm trying to look into, and yeah, that's where I'm at with those riddles.
Dude, did you
I
leave
asked
a?
them how they would connect the two, and
Uh,
I don't want to go too far into that, but yeah.
and again, back to shit that Derek is doing differently than everyone else. Affected, like releasing all this stuff and doing like he doesn't. You know, he could easily be like all these other artists and being like, I'm gonna do a promo tour and do all these fucking like interviews and stuff like that. And he's just like, I care about the fans, like and like making it a fan interactive moment and like putting us along on this, you know, I mean, creating you know, just making conversations and creating the fucking like the whole
just something
The
unique,
mystery,
different.
dude, is different, dude. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's crazy because
I know
yeah,
everyone has their crazy ideas of like Beetlejuice or
nah, it's just
something
no
like
too way too
that, but like,
gimmicky, dude. I mean, then it's
but see,
gonna.
there's also the most like there's also the iconic picture of Derek in his striped hoodie. That's like
Yeah,
the picture on YouTube with him. Like,
I
I'm like,
know.
there's so much shit that there really could be, but
I mean, if
I guess
anything, I feel
we'll
like Derek is gonna
find
be the
out.
one to give it because he gave away the USBs at fucking Jam Cruise. I mean, if anything, it's gonna be him, right? I mean, the familiar man in stripes. Who's the familiar man?
Yeah, I did really like that he was the guy raving in the video. I thought that was hilarious.
That was cool, dude. Those videos are sick. Yeah,
In the Vegas.
dude. Yeah. Yeah, that fucking the whole it was cool that they used trip through time. And it's like it was that spaceship. And it's like fucking, and then it was like, and it was like that fucking rave
Yeah,
shit. Yo, this is gonna be crazy for sure. Well, you know, I think at this point we wrap this thing up. You know, honestly, Cody, you know, you're a great dude, and like you know, it's crazy because we've like had that whole experience that we've like chatted a little bit, but I feel like we got to know each other so much at this point, and like that's what I love. And that's my whole idea about this whole thing is like, you know, I started out with some friends that I knew, and like it's nice to have someone on that like I don't know. It was very like fun like getting to know and chat with you and like having these fucking conversations about the shit that we both love and yeah, I can't thank you enough, dude. I want to do it again soon. So, you know, this has been fucking
yeah,
sick.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love the concept of your podcast of like meeting people at shows and like having them on here because
yeah,
you're gonna get great stories of
yeah,
people that you meet along the way, and
yeah.
yeah,
And just like what happened,
all
like
different kinds of
the conversation may go off of Pretty Lights, but it always goes back. And like, you know, when you meet people at shows, why are we here? Pretty Lights. And then you get to know where you're from, what's this, like all that. And then, yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, I don't want to necessarily be so like we can only talk about this and that. Like you know, it can go off and it can be free flow. And sometimes people are always like, I've talked about this. Like people are like, well, what's your thing? What's your thing? And I'm like, well, I don't
Mhm.
necessarily like. Yeah, it's this, but like I don't necessarily want to be stuck on certain things. Like I don't want to necessarily like. Sure, I sent you an outline and everything. I don't want to have to like do like too much research, but at the same time, you know, fall back on a few things, but I like let the conversation breathe and go where it goes. So yeah, again, dude,
Absolutely.
you're you're the fucking man. So appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
No, thanks for having me, dude. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed
Yeah,
every minute of it.
yeah,
I was looking forward to it.
hell yeah, and we'll do it
So,
again. So this will conclude this episode of A Trip Through Time. It's been a phenomenal journey of a conversation. My fucking homie sitting in my fucking co-pilot seat, Cody. We've had a fucking phenomenal journey, and it's one we're gonna run back a bunch of times. But thank you for anyone tuning in. Please, you know, if you can, I know we're small now, but share it, talk about it, reach out to us. I love meeting everybody, and I want to get to know everyone else. So, yeah, this has been a fucking one for the books, and we'll run it back. So again, thanks to Cody, and that's it.
thanks, Ben, for having us and putting this on.
Oh yeah, all right, land this fucking spaceship and signing off. Peace.
Through time and
Later.
fire, we're on a ship that flies and flies and flies.